Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Our guest this week is a very timely one. He's Boston Police Commissioner William Evans, a 32-year veteran of the police force, just completing his first full year as commissioner. Commissioner, welcome.
Well, thanks, Sean, for having me on.
Good to have you here. 1 year in, any regrets? You want to go back to the district? Or?
Well, the only regret I have is I always like wearing a uniform, and I miss being out there on the street and being at a lot of events. And now I get dressed up with a suit on every day, so a different role.
Well, there are worse things that could happen to you, I suppose.
I agree.
Anyway, it's good to have you here, sir. As we're taping this interview on Thursday afternoon, it's airing on a Sunday morning, but we're taping on Thursday, there is an uproar over a grand jury's decision not to pursue charges against a white New York City police officer whose chokehold takedown of an unarmed black man on Staten Island named Eric Garner led to that man's death. I assume you've seen this video?
Yes.
What do you make of the policing you saw in it?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people are troubled by what they've seen on the camera, you know, with several officers taking that, you know, suspect down. And, you know, all I can say is I'm sure the officers didn't intend to kill that poor man. And you know, unfortunately, he was a big man. I think it would have taken several people down. We deal with that stuff, John, sort of every day. And, you know, again, I know Commissioner Bratton well. I know he's looking over the procedure. He says it's not over as far as discipline for that officer, whether it's, you know, good or not. But, you know, unfortunately, we got a very difficult job on the streets every day. We make a lot of arrests, a lot of that aren't on TV, and, you know, we use quite a bit of restraint. And policing in today's society isn't easy, but, you know, I don't want a Monday morning quarterback on that particular event, but obviously to the naked eye and civilians, it's very disturbing.
Well, if that had happened in Boston and you saw that video, would you be thinking there may be a disciplinary case here? Or?
Without a doubt. You know, you look at some procedures as far as, you know, taking them into custody, you know, the time that it took to get medical care. You know, there's a lot of issues there that I think NYPD is going to have to deal with.
Now, chokeholds have been banned in New York since the early 90s. Are they permitted here?
Well, we just rewrote our policy because we were, you know, doing it in certain cases, especially when we had drug deals, and a lot of times the suspects would put the drugs in their mouth. And the only thing we could do was try to stop it. But we've changed our policy on chokeholds, and obviously it's something we don't encourage whatsoever.
Now, one more thing about this before I want to focus on Boston, obviously. One New York City newspaper columnist wrote the other day, quote, "Cops who need to worry about whether the slightest mishap might result in criminal charges and a prison term are not cops who are going to put the public's interest first," end quote. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of the mindset of police officers. I think we're highly scrutinized, our profession. You know, it's a dangerous job. We're out there. I think so far this year we've taken almost 700 guns off the street. I think, you know, I know the protest is all about, you know, Black Lives Matter. John, let me tell you, every life matters to the Boston Police Department. You know, we're out there every night trying to make the city safe. And so all I can say is, again, our officers do a tremendous job out in the street. And I hope what happened in New York and what happened, obviously, in Ferguson, does not paint every officer, because no one goes to work in the morning hoping to hurt anybody. Our job is to save lives and make, especially minority communities, as safe as possibly can be.
All right, Commissioner, we'll take a short break. Thank you, sir. And we'll continue our conversation with Boston Police Commissioner William Evans in a moment. Please stay with us.